Hi everybody, BionicDance here. So, I would like to talk about a hypothetical situation. Let's suppose that somebody committed a crime. I'm gonna go with murder on this one because, say, like a bank robbery would just complicate things. But let's suppose that somebody committed a murder. And then they decide to leave town, change their appearance, change their name, everything. Just completely change their identity, and they didn't leave enough evidence at the crime scene to link their new identity with the old one, and so ultimately they get away with it. They live out the rest of their natural life and die of old age without ever being found out or punished by the earthly authorities for this murder. And let's further assume that, as I suspect, we live in a godless, atheistic universe. So ultimately, this guy is never punished for the murder he committed. How do you feel about that? Because personally, I would feel a certain amount of moral indignation. I would feel a certain amount of outrage. I'd be like, damn it, I don't appreciate that. I don't like the fact that this guy was able to murder somebody, was able to kill another person. Let's assume in cold blood, an innocent person. This is my hypothetical. I'm assuming that this was an undeserved killing, that the person this guy killed didn't deserve it, that he was completely in the wrong. This guy who committed the murder was completely in the wrong. Shouldn't have happened, and yet he gets away with it. He is never punished, not here on earth, and there's no afterlife, so he can't be punished there. He gets away with it. You know what? I don't appreciate that. I don't like that at all. I wish that were not the case. However, tough shit. Gotta live with it. That's just how the universe works. I mean, what you gonna do? You know? There is no ultimate authority. It doesn't exist. Sometimes bad shit happens, and there's not a damn thing anyone can do about it. That guy gets away with it, like it or not. And honestly, I think it's not being able to live with that. I think it's not being able to accept the notion that sometimes bad people get away with things. And good people sometimes have bad shit happen to them. I think that not being able to live with that is a large source of the conflict we have when we argue with people about whether or not objective morality exists, and about whether or not heaven and hell exist, about whether or not there is a God. Because they cannot accept the notion that people are going to get away with shit, that good and bad deeds will go unrewarded or unpunished. I think that's a very large part of where these arguments come from, is that some people cannot live with that. You know, I mean, what can you do? How can we, as atheists, get the theist types, to get the God botherers to accept the notion of tough luck, of, oh well, that's just not how the universe works. Sometimes shit happens and it's unfair and there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, because it seems to me that is a large part of the fight we would have against religion, is to get people to accept that, to get people who don't want to accept that, who can't accept that, to do that, to do it, to say, oh, okay, I guess, yeah, tough luck, oh well. You know, I don't think they want to do that, and there's not a lot we can do or say to get them to accept it, to get them to, I've been avoiding the term grow up, because A, it's insulting, and two, well, I feel like I'm still a kid. Here I am, you know, less than half a year from 37, I still feel like I'm a little kid. And yet, here I am, about to tell other people to grow up. That's a little hypocritical, isn't it? But at the same time, well, at least in this aspect, being able to accept the notion of this isn't fair, in that aspect, I feel a bit more mature than the religious. I really do. I mean, come on. I don't want to sound like I'm bitching too much, but you guys know I've got problems with my head meats with this whole epilepsy thing. My meds aren't working as well as they should. I'm looking at possible brain surgery. That sucks, but you know what? I'm sitting here thinking, well, I might just have to live with it. Life's unfair. Shit happens. It's not. You can't sit around feeling sorry for yourself. Sometimes you just got to deal with it. And granted, I've spent a lot of this weekend trying to tell myself that. So I recognize that it's not always easy to say life isn't fair. And you have to sometimes just move on. You have to sometimes just accept it. But if the religious could accept that no, there isn't some, parent figure up in the sky that protects us, that looks out for us, that will punish people where we don't have to worry. It's like, if the authorities don't get that murderer, that hypothetical murderer, well, God will. And they use that to console themselves. If they didn't do that, I think they'd be just that much closer, maybe even more than one step closer, maybe a big honkin' giant leap closer to being atheists. I think so. If they could accept that maybe not everyone gets their just desserts. I wonder what everyone else thinks. Comment down below, please. And until next time, fellow space travelers, this is BionicDance saying, don't run on automatic. Instead, please, think. Please take the time to rate this video. And hey, if you dig what I do, subscribe. And please visit my Zazzle store, where you'll find all kinds of BionicDance merchandise. Now rate this video, citizen, or we put you on the probulator.